Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's explosive special report that is shaking the very foundations of America's most hallowed cultural institutions. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the worlds of Broadway, politics, and high art alike, the Broadway phenomenon Hamilton has announced the cancellation of its planned performances at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., scheduled for March 3 through April 26, 2026. This cancellation, driven by a dramatic and controversial shakeup at the Kennedy Center initiated by former President Donald Trump's administration, is not just a business decision, it is a clarion call that reverberates through the corridors of American history, culture, and politics. The decision comes on the heels of unprecedented leadership changes at the Kennedy Center. In a move that many see as the imposition of a new, partisan culture on a beloved national institution, Trump's administration ousted long-standing leadership and reshaped the Board of Trustees. As a result, Hamilton producer Jeffrey Seller declared that his show simply cannot, in good conscience, participate and be a part of this new culture that is being imposed on the Kennedy Center. And so, with heavy hearts and unyielding principles, the producers of Hamilton have pulled the plug on what would have been the third engagement of the show at the Kennedy Center, a venue steeped in decades of bipartisan tradition and artistic excellence. This decision is a potent mixture of art, politics, and business, a triple threat that has ignited passions and polarized opinions across the nation. For those who have followed Hamilton's meteoric rise from a groundbreaking, hip-hop-infused retelling of American history to a global cultural phenomenon, this news comes as a bitter pill to swallow. Let's dive deep into every facet of this stunning development, exploring its roots, ramifications, and the far-reaching implications for America's cultural landscape. For decades, the Kennedy Center has stood as a beacon of nonpartisan cultural expression, a place where the arts transcended politics, a sanctuary where every American could find common ground in the celebration of creativity. Founded over 50 years ago and named after one of America's most inspirational presidents, the Kennedy Center was built on a promise to be a national treasure where art and culture could flourish free from the corrosive effects of partisan politics. Under the leadership of presidents from Eisenhower to Nixon, the institution earned its reputation as a space where America's diverse cultural heritage could come together in unity. However, recent events have upended that long-held vision. In a move that has left artists, performers, and cultural critics reeling, former President Donald Trump's administration initiated a radical transformation of the Kennedy Center's leadership. In February 2025, sweeping changes were enacted that included the firing of Kennedy Center President Deborah Rutter, the removal of board chairman David Rubenstein, and the ousting of several other high-ranking officials. These actions were widely perceived as a deliberate attempt to politicize the institution, a move that many believe compromises the very mission of the Kennedy Center. In response to this politicization, Hamilton, a show celebrated for its stirring portrayal of American history and its unflinching challenge to the status quo, has taken a stand. Jeffrey Seller, the show's producer, issued a statement that was both scathing and principled. Political disagreement and debate are vital expressions of democracy. These basic concepts of freedom are at the very heart of Hamilton, Seller explained. However, some institutions are sacred and should be protected from politics. The Kennedy Center is one such institution. The recent purge by the Trump administration of both professional staff and performing arts events flies in the face of everything this national cultural center represents. Seller's statement is a powerful indictment of what he sees as the new partisan policies at the Kennedy Center. According to Seller, these policies not only betray the center's founding principles but also threaten the economic stability of a global production that employs hundreds of people. Our cancellation is also a business decision, he noted. Hamilton is a large and global production, and it would simply be financially and personally devastating to the hundreds of employees of Hamilton if the new leadership of the Kennedy Center suddenly canceled or renegotiated our engagement. In a world where contracts are the lifeblood of creative enterprises, Seller warns that the new political climate has rendered these contracts unreliable, undermining the basic rule of law that has long served as the foundation of American society. The shockwaves from this cancellation extend far beyond the walls of the Kennedy Center. the news has reverberated through the arts community, igniting debates among performers, directors, and cultural critics. In recent weeks, other celebrated artists have also chosen to distance themselves from the institution. Actor Issa Rae, singer-musician Rhiannon Giddens, author Louise Penny, and the rock band Low Cut Connie have all cancelled their scheduled events at the Kennedy Center. Meanwhile, singer-songwriter Victoria Clark made a bold statement by wearing a t-shirt emblazoned with "Anti-Trump AF" during her performance, signaling her unequivocal disapproval of the new leadership. These high-profile rejections form a chorus of dissent, a clear message from the arts community that the Kennedy Center's transformation under a partisan regime is unacceptable. For many, this is not merely a political disagreement but a cultural crisis that strikes at the very heart of America's national identity. The Kennedy Center, funded by both government money and private donations, has long been a symbol of unity, a place where millions of Americans gather to celebrate the beauty of artistic expression. Its transformation into a politically charged battleground is seen as a betrayal not only of its mission but of the American people themselves. Let's take a moment to reflect on the historical significance of the Kennedy Center. Opened in 1971 during the administration of President Richard Nixon and named in honor of President John F. Kennedy, the center was conceived as a national memorial to the ideals of freedom, democracy, and the enduring power of art. Over the years, it has hosted thousands of performances, from classical music concerts and avant-garde theater productions to groundbreaking dance recitals and inspiring lectures. Its stages have seen the likes of some of the most iconic performers and have been the site of historic events that have united people across the political spectrum. For generations of Americans, the Kennedy Center was a place where the arts transcended everyday politics, a rarefied space where differences were set aside in the name of culture and creativity. But in recent times, a radical shift has taken hold. The Trump administration's intervention in the center's leadership has cast a long shadow over its legacy, injecting a level of partisanship that many see as antithetical to the center's founding principles. This dramatic change has not only disrupted the institution's internal operations but has also sent a powerful message to the broader cultural community, that even the most sacred spaces are not immune to the forces of political polarization. But as we witness the transformation of this once sacred space into a pawn in a larger political game, we must ask ourselves, what is the cost of politicizing culture? When art is forced to choose sides, when cultural institutions are manipulated for political gain, the consequences are profound and far-reaching. It is a sobering realization that the very things that once united us, the shared experiences of music, theater, dance, and visual art, can become casualties in a battle over ideology and power. For supporters of Hamilton, the message is clear: art must remain free from the corrosive influence of partisan politics. The decision to cancel the 2026 Kennedy Center performances is a rallying cry for all those who believe in the sanctity of artistic expression, a demand that cultural institutions uphold their founding principles of neutrality, inclusivity, and unity. It is a call to arms for the arts community to stand together and defend the spaces where creativity and democracy intersect, ensuring that future generations inherit a legacy that is defined not by division, but by the power of art to heal, inspire, and transform. In the wake of this monumental decision, questions abound about the future of the Kennedy Center and the broader cultural landscape in America. Will this cancellation spark a broader exodus of artists and performers who refuse to be complicit in the politicization of culture? Can the institution recover its reputation as a nonpartisan haven for the arts? Or is this the beginning of a long, bitter struggle that will redefine the role of government and private influence in our cultural institutions? The answers to these questions remain uncertain, but one thing is clear: the cancellation of Hamilton's 2026 performances is a watershed moment in the ongoing battle over the soul of American art. It is a reminder that the arts, in all their beauty and complexity, are not immune to the forces of politics, and that the choices we make today will shape the cultural landscape for decades to come. Jeffrey Seller's impassioned statement serves as both a lament for what has been lost and a beacon of hope for what can be preserved. He speaks of the deep, personal connection he has felt with the Kennedy Center since his childhood, a connection that makes this cancellation all the more painful. Yet, in his measured words, there is also a determination to uphold the principles that have always defined the center: integrity, nonpartisanship, and the unwavering belief that art belongs to all of us, not to any one political faction. As we reflect on this dramatic turn of events, we are reminded that the true power of art lies in its ability to transcend the ephemeral concerns of politics and commerce. Hamilton, with its electrifying blend of history, music, and raw emotion, has always been a testament to the human spirit's capacity to overcome adversity. Its many accolades, from the Tony Awards and Pulitzer Prize to the Grammy and Edward M. Kennedy Prize, are a testament to its impact on our collective cultural consciousness. Yet, this impact is now being tested in a new arena, a world where the forces of division threaten to silence the voices that have long championed unity, creativity, and the free exchange of ideas. The cancellation of Hamilton at the Kennedy Center is not a retreat, it is a bold declaration that art must remain above the fray of partisan politics. It is a stand for the values that have made America great, a belief that art, in its purest form, is a force for good, a means of connecting us to our shared humanity, and a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there is beauty, hope, and the possibility of redemption. As this controversy continues to unfold, the eyes of the nation and indeed, the world, are fixed on the Kennedy Center. Will the institution be able to reclaim its nonpartisan legacy, or will it continue down a path that alienates the very artists and audiences it was meant to serve? Can the cultural landscape be saved from the creeping tendrils of political polarization, or is this the beginning of a new era in which art is forever intertwined with the ideologies of power? These are questions that have no easy answers, but they are questions that demand our attention. For in the end, the battle over the soul of the Kennedy Center is a microcosm of a much larger struggle, a struggle for the very identity of our nation, for the preservation of the ideals that have defined us, and for the promise of a future where art and democracy can once again coexist in harmony. In conclusion, the cancellation of Hamilton's 2026 performances at the Kennedy Center is a momentous event that will be remembered for years to come. It is a story of conviction and resistance, a story that challenges us to consider the price of political interference in the realm of culture and the enduring power of artistic expression. As we stand in the precipice of a new era in American art, let us remember that the true strength of our nation lies not in the whims of political leadership, but in the collective spirit of creativity, innovation, and unity that binds us all. This is not just a cancellation, it is a wake-up call. It is a rallying cry for all who believe that art should be free, that cultural institutions should serve as sanctuaries for the creative soul, and that the legacy of our nation should be built on principles of fairness, integrity, and the unyielding belief in the transformative power of art. As the story of the Kennedy Center's transformation continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the fight for the soul of American culture has only just begun, and the voices of artists, performers, and citizens alike will not be silenced. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth, exclusive report. Stay tuned for further updates as this story develops, and remember, when art and politics collide, the results can be as unpredictable as they are revolutionary. This is your host, signing off with a reminder that in the face of adversity, the light of creativity and the spirit of unity will always prevail. If you liked this news and want more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends. Until next time, sensationalist family.